Welcome to From the Pages, and this issue places us right at the center of the World Wrestling Federation's most aggressive, most confident moment. March 2001 is not cautious, it's not reflective, it's expansion at full throttle. The Attitude Era is no longer trying to shock anyone, it's trying to prove permanence. The WWF doesn't just want attention anymore, it assumes attention is guaranteed. What it wants now is dominance across every form of media it can touch. From the opening pages, the magazine makes its position clear. Wrestling is no longer the end product, it's the engine. Everything flows outward from the ring into movies, books, music, football, lifestyle branding, and celebrity culture. Raw magazine isn't written like a fan scrapbook, it's written like an insider briefing, a guide to understanding how this company thinks, moves, and multiplies itself. The early framing sets the tone with confidence bordering on arrogance, and that's intentional. This is a WWF that has survived competition, outlasted critics, and now feels untouchable. The magazine positions itself as the place where fans don't just see characters, they understand strategy, where the curtain isn't fully pulled back, but lifted just enough to remind you that power lives behind it. The first sustained voice belongs to Ross from Ringside. Jim Ross doesn't write as a hype man here. He writes like a veteran who has watched eras rise and collapse. His column moves deliberately, touching on locker room energy, emerging talent, crowd reactions, and the constant pressure of expectation that comes with success. Ross reminds readers that nothing in wrestling stays hot forever and that survival at this level requires constant reinvention. His tone isn't nostalgic, it's alert. Wrestling, he suggests, is always one bad decision away from losing momentum. Letters to the editor brings that tension directly into focus. Fans respond emotionally, passionately, sometimes angrily. The shadow of Rodney Yokozuna, Inoue's passing, hangs heavy over these pages, grounding the era's excess in real loss. Other letters debate coverage, direction, and tone, reinforcing that the audience is no longer passive. These readers feel ownership. They don't just consume WWF, and they critique it, defend it, and demand accountability from it. That sense of access deepens in the Raw insider view. This section feels looser, more candid. Moments from the road, personal snapshots, glimpses of Federation life that television doesn't capture. It humanizes a company built on exaggeration, reminding the reader that beneath the characters are people living in constant motion, under constant pressure. At the core of the issue sits its most important feature, the Raw interview with Vince McMahon. This isn't framed as a promotional piece, it's framed as philosophy. McMahon speaks about cycles, about how sports entertainment rises, peaks, and must reinvent itself to survive. He addresses criticism directly without apology. Media backlash, moral outrage, internet scrutiny, all of it is treated as background noise to momentum. WrestleMania is discussed not as an annual event, but as a cornerstone, the place where the company proves itself to itself. McMahon reflects on delegation, on trust, and on the difficulty of controlling something that has grown beyond any single person. The internet's influence is acknowledged, not feared. And then there's the XFL, framed not as a gamble but as belief. Win or lose, McMahon positions expansion as inevitable. Stagnation in his worldview is failure. Under the covers shift the tone inward with Chyna. Excerpts from If They Only Knew pull the reader away from spectacle and into personal history. Independent wrestling, early struggle, physical and emotional cost. Raw magazine frames her rise as earned, not gifted, reinforcing the idea that breaking barriers comes with consequence. This isn't triumph without scars. The magazine then accelerates outward again with Action Hero, placing The Rock firmly on a Hollywood trajectory. The language here is confident, almost declarative. The Rock isn't testing the waters, and he's crossing over because he belongs there. Comparisons to established action stars are direct. Raw magazine treats this as validation, proof that WWF stars are built for mainstream success. Wrestling, the magazine suggests, is now a launch pad. That intensity softens briefly with healing mind and body. Tori's focus on yoga and wellness introduces a quieter theme. Survival. The WWF lifestyle is punishing. Longevity requires balance. This feature acknowledges the toll of constant performance even as the company continues to push forward relentlessly. Memory reasserts itself and the Sarge remembers. Sergeant Slaughter revisits WrestleMania 7, recalling hostility, backlash, and career-defining heat. The reflection isn't sanitized. Wrestling's emotional residue lasts longer than storylines, and this piece allows that truth to sit uncomfortably. Molly's mentor brings the focus back to fundamentals. Work ethic, discipline, precision. Molly Holly is framed as someone who thrives not on shortcuts, but on craft. In an era dominated by spectacle, this feature quietly argues that professionalism still matters. Big is Beautiful reinforces one of wrestling's oldest truths. Presence matters. Size commands attention. Larger-than-life performers are celebrated not just for mass, but for the way they dominate space. Wrestling is visual power, and Raw magazine leans into it unapologetically. The scope widens again with ballers and brawlers. XFL personalities appear at Raw events, blurring the line between football and wrestling. Cross-promotion isn't treated as experiment, it's treated as synergy. The WWF believes that its audience will follow wherever the brand leads. Star Power completes that thought by spotlighting celebrity attendance. Actors, entertainers, public figures appear ringside, reinforcing the idea that Raw is not just a wrestling show, it's a cultural event. Being seen there matters. Running beneath every article is the commercial current of the era. Sweepstakes promise Hollywood access. Book promotions sell personal narratives. Music ads turn entrance themes into commodities. Home video ads push violence, nostalgia, and personality. Jim Ross BBQ sauce ads remind readers that even commentary can become product. Subscription offers and back issue ads encourage loyalty, collection, and immersion. Wrestling here isn't episodic. It's a lifestyle. By the final pages, Raw magazine, March 2001, reads like a snapshot of a company convinced it has escaped gravity. Wrestling has become infrastructure. Stars are brands. The ring is only the beginning. If this issue takes you back, say where it hit. If you lived through this era, tell us what it felt like watching wrestling expand beyond the ring. And if you want more deep dives pulled straight from wrestling history, you already know where to be. See you next time. Farewell from the Empire State.